The next case file we open tonight is this strange story of a 53-year-old Sydney man who was mysteriously murdered in his home. Nabil Kasher had moved from Jordan to Australia to promote the Islamic faith. He'd recently married in Jordan and was trying to bring his wife to Australia. As part of Islamic tradition, Nabil provided a dowry for his new wife. He bought her jewellery to the value of $10,000 and returned with it to Sydney for safekeeping. Could that cache of jewels have cost Nabil his life? Or was there perhaps another motive?
Nabil Kasher was born in Jordan but had resided in Australia since 1985. He came here as an imam, a leader of a Muslim mosque, and had postings in Adelaide and Brisbane. He then moved to Sydney, where, although he ceased practicing as an imam, he remained involved in the Islamic faith. He was known at the Lakemba Mosque and was absorbed in the Muslim community at Parramatta. After divorcing his first wife in 1993, Nabil made a trip back to Jordan in 1995, where he met a Jordanian woman in her 30s, and after a short courtship, they were married. As is customary in the Muslim culture, Nabil provided a dowry for his wife, part of which was jewellery to the value of $10,000, which he bought in Jordan. After 2 months, Nabil left Jordan to return to Australia. He promised his new wife that he would organise the necessary immigration documents for her to come and join him. Nabil took the jewellery with him. On his return, he worked from home as an insurance agent, selling policies and superannuation, mainly on the phone. On Thursday, the 29th of February 1996, Nabil bought some groceries from Franklin's in George Street, Parramatta, and paid with his ANZ Telstra card at 9:24 a.m. This was the last reported sighting of him. Police believe that Nabil spent the rest of his day in his unit at 1 Henry Street, Parramatta, on the phone to clients. They know he was home at 7 p.m. when he received a call from his daughter's piano teacher. After the call, it appears that Nabil had dinner and changed. He watched TV until sometime shortly before 10 p.m. It was then that police believe he was buzzed on the intercom system. Police suspect that it is unlikely Nabil would have allowed someone in at that time of night without knowing them. And whoever he admitted was responsible for his death. A couple returning home heard what they thought was the raised voices of 3 males coming from Nabil's unit. It wasn't until 5 days later, on Tuesday the 5th of March, that the same couple who had heard the argument on the previous Thursday complained of an unpleasant smell coming from Nabil's flat. The police were eventually called and, finding the smell suspicious, took action to gain entry into the flat. A locksmith was brought in to pick the lock. On entering the flat, police discovered Nabil's decomposed body, lying on the Persian rug in the lounge room. The unit had been ransacked. The cause of death was listed as compression of the neck, causing asphyxiation. Police believe a heavy object was pushed forcibly against Nabil's neck. They set about taping off the crime scene. 20 minutes later, the homicide squad arrived, including 2 plainclothes officers from Scientific and 2 detectives. The officers used their equipment to video the crime scene and take stills. They also gathered other evidence, such as fingerprints and blood samples. Meanwhile, the detectives searched the unit for a murder weapon and to ascertain if there was any stolen property. No murder weapon was found, but a number of items were later declared stolen.
The objects stolen from Nabil's unit included a laptop computer, items from his wallet, plus the $10,000 dowry of Jordanian jewels bought for his wife. The dowry included a necklace and earring set, bracelets and rings, including 3 wedding rings. Police believe the offenders were 2 men who were probably known to Nabil and that a dispute between them led to murder. Detectives suspect that robbery may not have been the real motive. If you have any information that can help solve the murder of Nabil Kasher or know anything about the stolen jewellery, please call Crime Stoppers right now. 1-800-333-000.